Okay, we're getting into guns now. I saw yet another politician talking about and demonizing the ar-15 and the civilians' need to have it as a self-defense weapon. Do I need an ar-15? No. No, I feel I'm proficient enough with different platforms to protect my family. Do I choose to have one? Yeah. Mainly because they say that the criminals have them. They're the ones that are perpetrating the crimes. And if there's a criminal out there that has that wants to get something that I have or to do harm to my family or to myself, I want to have the most firepower and be able to execute it at that bad guy with precision as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible to protect myself and my family. It's a proven platform. That's another thing they're talking about. That they're not talking about is reasoning for having it. It's a proven platform. It falls under military specifications. There are tolerances. They're battle-proven weapons. You can go out and buy a Saturday night special to protect yourself with, and it may or may not work. May not work. You need something, and I tell this to everybody, you need something that A, you're familiar with, B, you know is going to work every single time. You don't want to get into a crisis situation where you're trying to figure out, do I have a double feed? Is there something, what's going on here? I pull the trigger, nothing's happening. You don't have the time to sit there and think about that when you have a 250-pound guy coming at you and your kids are behind you and he's got a knife or a gun. You don't have time to think. It has to be a knee-jerk, not a knee-jerk reaction, but a trained response. And it has to happen like that. Gunfights happen within seconds. They happen in close quarters. They happen in close distances. For self-defense, I actually do prefer a shotgun. But if push comes to shove and there's a huge disparity in force, then 30 rounds might be it. There's the case of the lady who was protecting her child in a little cubby crawl space, pumped 5 rounds into the guy, and the guy got out and drove away. And that was with a revolver. She protected herself and her family. Not to say that the purpose of self-defense is to kill someone, but you want to disable that person for the time that they're around you. Let's put it that way. Let's be politically correct. The big thing that bothers me about this whole, I don't even want to call it a speech, I want to call it a advertising campaign against the ar-15 and assault weapons, quote-unquote assault weapons, because please look up the definition of the ar-15 or assault weapon. It's cosmetically similar to the weapons used in war. Rather, the ar-15 is a variant of the M16. It's not select fire. It's not fully automatic. It's a neutered down version of the true assault weapon. It's not fully automatic. It doesn't spray bullets. But back to my initial problem with that advertising campaign, the facts, everybody is going so far away from the facts. Functionally, the ar-15 is much different than an assault weapon. Like I said, it doesn't spray bullets. If you took an ar-15 and a Ruger Mini 14, functionally they do the same. They just look different. One has wood, the other one has polymer, and it's painted black, and it's gotten into opinions, and opinions are not ways or bases to put legislation on. You can't say, I don't think that car really, it looks pretty messed up, it looks dangerous, looks like it could hurt somebody. We shouldn't allow that to be in the United States. Come on, man, really? The caliber, nobody talked about the caliber. It's a 223.223 inches in diameter, quarter of an inch, less than a quarter of an inch. There's 308, which is 0.308 inches in diameter, larger. Nobody's saying anything about that. There's more cavity damage, more hydrostatic shock, a longer range. nobody's saying anything about that. It's just that AR-15, boy, we got to ban that thing because why? Because statistically, firearms deaths are more often by pistols. And they don't even account for, well, I don't want to speak out of place without having actual facts in front of me. But as far as homicides, pistols are the way to go, apparently. And no, I don't want them to ban pistols because, yes, the Second Amendment says you have a right to bear arms. They didn't say you have a right to bear this arm or that arm. And I'm sure they didn't think we would develop the AR-15, but it's hard to go back and take this amendment that's giving you a right and have a government, which it was put in place to protect you against in such an event. Because how did we get here? The British, a tea party, some tea in the water, and and we didn't want to be taxed without representation. Not to... No awesome doctors out here. That's my daughter, 7. That's how the United States started. We broke away. There was a tyrannical government. We broke away from it, and these guys sat down and said, "We don't want this to happen again. So we're going to put in place things to allow the people to protect themselves, not just from criminals, but from also a tyrannical government." So you can't demonize something because of an opinion, of a perception, because opinions are like, you know what, trying to keep it clean so I don't get in trouble. But look at the facts. Take the curtain of BS and drama and look, we have to attack this because it's such a horrible thing, and go back to the facts. Go back to statistics, real statistics, not the ones that this side is telling you to read or that side is telling you to read. Try and find true statistics. That's why I try and watch BBC. I try and watch news outlets that aren't bought and paid for by certain people, that are not biased because of X, Y, or Z. So, man, I better cut this short. Look at the facts. Don't be silly. Learn the truth. Pay attention. Be situationally aware. Don't panic. Stay calm. Stay cool. And be good people. That's all we ask.